You're thinking of buying a home and you're stuck on the problem of, do I buy a brand new home from the builder or do I go to the resale market, in other words MLS, and buy a home that's been lovingly lived in before? Well, this is a tough question for a lot of buyers. I'm going to tell you all about the pros and cons of each approach starting right now. This is KW Real Estate News and Views for the week of October 6th. Brand new versus used, essentially. Brand new versus the resale market. This is an interesting question because there's a good chunk of buyers want to buy brand new. So I'm going to lay out the pros and cons of each, resale as well, and tell you some of the things you need to worry about so you can make an informed decision when you're ready to pull the trigger. Let's start off with brand new homes. In other words, what's known as pre-construction. You go visit the model home center, sign up with the builder. A year later, you've got your property, and off you go. So what are the pros of this approach? Well, for starters, you can design it exactly how you want. If it's a custom builder, essentially the sky's the limit. Whatever you want for your exterior finishes, the style, brickwork, paint color, siding colors, shingle type, garage doors, for example, all of that can be custom within reason, depending on the builder, to the more luxurious neighborhoods where you can design it exactly as you want. Same goes for the interior. You can design the interior exactly like you want. Are you going to go luxury vinyl? Are you going to go engineered hardwood, actual hardwood, or ceramic? Carpet these days, it's kind of passe, but if you wanted that, you could have that. If you didn't, then you've got all those other great choices. Layouts for your bathrooms, the fixture types, what kind of tub you want, how the shower's done, do you want a bidet? All of these options are available, and that's one of the pluses of buying a brand new house. You can do it exactly like you want. Now, talking about technology, anything that's current and modern is going to have the best available insulation, updated and current wiring and electrical systems. You want a charger for your car, you can get that already built in, ready to go. Your R values for the insulation, it's at the highest level. You want low E glass, you can get that. That's really the nice thing about these brand new builds. You can get exactly what you want, and it's cutting edge, state-of-the-art stuff. Now, other things, talking about community, talking about the newness of the neighborhood. Well, generally speaking, you've got brand new schools, brand new parks, brand new walking trails. Everything in a new development is new, and that's a huge draw for a lot of buyers. Now, let's talk about the cons of that exact approach. Well, you're living in new suburbia. You're going to be dealing with construction headaches and dust and dirt until the project's finished. Like really, if you're one of the first buyers in a new neighborhood, you can count on construction noise and traffic for, in some cases, years as that neighborhood gets built out. Other downsides, the new neighborhoods generally have really small lots. This is just how it is. It's a factor of zoning. So your neighbors' houses are really quite close to yours. There's also little in the way of landscaping. None of that's been done yet. You can take possession of your house and find out that you don't have a driveway, you don't have a fence, you don't have a deck, you don't have sod. All that stuff, comes 3, 4, 5, 6 months later in some cases. That's just how that goes. And then one other last point I want to touch upon with, especially in the kind of market we're in right now. If you're in a market with falling prices and you buy a pre-con from the builder and it's going to be 18 months out, if house prices have gone downward, you may find yourself having paid too much for your property, and the builder won't always give you a discount in that case, if he's offering prices lower to somebody else 18 months down the road. Exact same thing happened in Whitby a number of years ago. Needless to say, the buyers who bought early were very annoyed at the builder. So that's just some things to think about when you're buying brand new. Now, I want to talk to you about the resale market by comparison. Resale market, you're buying a house where you just take possession, open the door, walk in. And if you've been careful about what you've purchased, the home is going to be move-in ready with no headaches, just like it would be with a brand new build. As far as interior layouts and stuff, again, depending on what you buy, if you're buying a resale home that's only 10 years old, a lot of the stuff I talked about for brand new construction is going to be equally applicable. You're still going to have like HRVs, high efficiency furnaces, high R value insulation, decent glass for the windows, the kind of flooring types, all that kind of stuff I talked about is already going to be done. You just have a home that's being lived in a little bit instead. That's a plus as far as prices, because a home that's 5 years old, you're going to get that at a bit of a discount compared to a brand new build. And certainly if you're buying a property 20, 30, 40 years older, you're going to get a substantial discount compared to buying brand new. Other pluses about these older neighborhoods. The community is already established. Everything's landscaped. The trees have had a chance to grow in. Lot sizes generally tend to be a lot bigger, especially the older you go in the neighborhood. And things like bus routes, grocery stores, gyms, theaters, bars, restaurants, all that stuff's built up. It's already in place. And socially, those communities are way more exciting to live in than brand new suburbia, where it's very much a bedroom community. Now, talking about the resale homes with the downsides to them. If you're not careful, you're buying someone else's problems. And that can be anything from, bad AC, bad furnace, like just out of date and worn out, substandard wiring, cast iron waste lines in your plumbing need to be changed, older copper waste lines in your plumbing need to be changed, roof leaks, the sheathing has got a problem because of water coming in. If you're not careful, you can be buying a headache in an older property. That's definitely something to think about. And lastly, you want to talk about your room layouts. Again, if you're not careful about what you're thinking of how you want to live, you can find these older properties, closed in and boxed off, because that's just simply how houses were back, 30, 40, 50 years ago. If you're talking about buying, for example, a bungalow, Heritage Park, for example, from the 1950s, if it hasn't been updated, it's probably only going to have one bathroom on the main floor. So it's all those kind of negatives that you can look at with a resale home as well. You've got to be really, really quite careful about what you're choosing. Anyways, that's a lot of stuff to mull over if you're looking at buying brand new or buying resale. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a phenomenal day.